So very quickly, I want you to write down one task you really wish you could get. It's either a pain point, you don't know what to do, it's so mundane, you want to poke your eyes out, whatever it is. Yeah.
Deleting emails that I don't.
Okay. Write it down. Write it down.
Presentation help?
Yep.
So I'd have to hire a graphic designer. Right?
No, you can do that with AI.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a few things about AI. I could spend hours about AI. I'm not going to. First of all, the AI word is like saying tree. Thousands of different kinds of AI, and people love to just use the word. We're going to focus on generative AI today. So that is producing knowledge, producing content, analyzing that type of stuff. So we're not doing machine learning. We're not doing any of that. But generative AI. Most people, if they don't have any training and they start with AI, like a ChatGPT, they think it's search. They use it like they use a Google. And I'll tell you right now, you'll be disappointed and be like, what's the hype about? That's not how you can really use the power of AI. Okay. The other thing is security is super important. So if you're doing this for business, your own business, security underlies everything. And I'll tell you right now, for all of you that are using ChatGPT, they're using what you put in to train their model. No, Microsoft doesn't. We absolutely do not. And we did it for a reason. We made it free, and well, they're free and paid, but free. And we don't use your data at all. Your data is your data, and that's for every product we have. So that may not bother you, which is okay. You should just know about it. So before you use these tools, just really research about what you're using, what they do, what security they give you, etc. Okay, so this slide's just kind of fun to show how technology has picked up pace. It took the mobile phone 16 years to reach 100 million users. And it took ChatGPT 3 months for the same thing. It is just going like wildfire. So every individual, every team, every industry, every process, we're seeing it everywhere. I was talking to a CIO at a university, and he said, we're not going to do AI. And I was like, oh, that's cute. You think it's choice. By the way, your students have brought it in, your faculty have brought it in. It's the same thing for work. They're using it. Yeah. So you might as well get ahead of it. So 75% already using AI at work. And 78% bringing their own tools, which is a little bit dicey.
What does that mean, bring your own tools?
So it's a little bit like if your official video conferencing was Teams, and you're like, I hate Teams, I'm just going to use Zoom. You're bringing your own Zoom account.
Got it.
So it could be like our Copilot versus ChatGPT. One could be deemed the university or the workplace, and you just bring your own. So, by the way, there's so many good technologies out there, really. Google, Amazon, all of them, great. OpenAI. I only know Microsoft, which is terrible, but I only know Microsoft. So I'm going to teach you Microsoft today, but you can use what I'm teaching you pretty much anywhere and be fine. Now, the one thing you should know about Microsoft is we suck at naming things. So we have the George Foreman problem where he named all his kids George. We named everything Copilot. It could not be more confusing. So I'll try and be clear about what I'm meaning when I say Copilot, but let me know if it's not clear. Okay. So this is why employees are so into AI. It's about creating time, creating space, and being able to really do that strategic thinking, that creativity. We call it the value added tasks that you want to do versus the administrative tasks that you have to do. So I love that 70% are willing to delegate work to AI. It's awesome, right? Okay. I'm gonna keep, what time are we?
Kind of scary, don't you think?
So yeah, tell me about that. What do you find scary?
Well, if people were really that overwhelmed that they need to delegate that much of their work, that's a problem, number one. And then problem number two is now if they were, now they're getting more time back, what are they going to do with that time?
Well,
And if the companies are realizing that employees now have more time, are they going to be reducing number of employees everywhere across the board in every industry?
yeah, so I think it's the opposite.
And it kind of feels like it brings the kind of like what's happening now with teenagers and the phones and their attention span reducing rather than getting better. I feel like that's going to happen with adults now too, where we're summarizing everything and making everything easier to.
Yeah, so great points. I kind of think adults are already there.
Yeah. That's
Right.
true, yes.
Yes. But you raise good points. I think people are going to get more work, not less work.
No more.
So your managers are like, oh, great, you have time. Let's try this new thing and good luck with it, right? But, you know, as far as we've studied so far, I think it's less about AI taking your job and more about people with no AI knowledge are going to take people without AI knowledge jobs. So that's how we look at it.
It's a competition.
Yeah.
It's a
It's going to
competitive
be.
set.
I mean, this is a 21st century skill. I can't tell you how many universities are requiring it to graduate now. Like, it's really gonna be, I can't tell you how many students I've talked to. I'm curious about students applying to college. I keep in touch with it. And they'll say, I'm not gonna apply to any university that doesn't use AI because I know I need it for a job.
Oh, wow.
So interesting. So really important. Okay, so I took an example of sales. I tried to use business examples for you all and thinking about entrepreneurship. And it may be hard to read, but you know, looking at some of the key processes. So let's talk about lead gen. In the past, manual process, broad, untargeted strategies, low conversion rates, etc. The funny thing is, yeah, anyway, here you can do much more targeted and you can identify patterns. So part of what you can do is identify patterns that hadn't been seen before because of either the amount of data or you could only have time to do so much, etc. So you can really make this much more targeted to get your target customer, customer engagement, etc. I'll share these with you so that you can go through them. But this really, what are your key considerations? It's about what's your biggest pain point? How can you improve your customer experience? So I'll tell you right now, in admissions, part of their pain point is international students who call at midnight and nobody's there. Could you have AI actually have a conversation with them and answer the question and then send an email out? What tasks don't add value to what you do? I used to say, if it's not a value-added task, I either want to get rid of it or give it to an intern. So for me, AI is like the intern. And by the way, we named it Copilot. We were very direct about it. This is not autopilot. This is not, it's doing it for you. This is about, it's your buddy, it's your assistant, it's your collaborator that helps you. AI is to the point where you should never do a first draft and be like, I'll just send it. That's not what it's for. It's about getting going. It's about that creativity and so forth. What are you able to transform with AI? So know what AI can do and what AI can't do, and having a strategy. Okay. All right, that's basics of AI. Good. Anything else you wanted to know? Excellent. You're like, I'm done. Could you please? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. With regard to AI, the big concern that I have is, we've invested a fair amount in building out our company and its data sets and such have happened. So we want to keep it protected. We also want to keep our data protected. So to me, a gating issue with regard to how to integrate AI in my company's processes is how can I be completely confident that neither our confidential information, including our data, or our clients' information would be exposed?
Yeah, so there are a couple things. Remember were you here when I said security?
I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. No, don't worry. No, I'm going to go further. So one of the biggest things I've seen, mainly at Microsoft, I talk to customers about two things, security and AI. It's pretty much it. And security is changing over. Lots of people have done security now to compliance. And it's about how do I make sure my data stays within my four walls and doesn't walk? And then you can do with data. So I can make a document so secure that if I put it on a stick and put it on your computer, you still can't open it because you don't have the rights. It's possible, and people are turning their attention to that as AI. It's funny, AI is pointing out all the issues you have. You had it before, you just didn't realize you have it, and AI is putting a giant spotlight on it. The second thing is to really look at the company you're working with and do they use your data to train the model or not? Yeah. Right.
It's rather hard to get to the bottom of that question.
Yeah, and get it in writing, right?
Yeah, because if you ask chat that exact question, chat tells you a whole different story.
Mm-hmm.
Because I asked chat, so what is happening with my data? In the same sort of thing, like, because you want to know more and more as it's machine learning, it's giving you great stuff. You're like, wait a minute, now I really want to ask. And then you go to plug your data and you're like, where is this going?
Yeah.
Right.
I have a question. I think my question is more just, we know kind of what AI is capable of today. What is the end goal? Where is it going? Like, when is it ever going to stop innovating? Like, eventually will Copilot be autopilot? I guess that's where there's like a lot of question marks right now. What's 20 years later going to look like for AI?
Yeah, so one of the things I'm disappointed with is I thought the ethics of AI should be right parallel with the technology, and it's not far behind. And I kind of blame universities for that. I think that was really their role, as well as some government, but we won't go there. So I think that's a big question of, will we get there? It's, I was telling Denise, Deborah, earlier, I have a colleague at Microsoft whose daughter broke her arm, went to the doctor and he was like, it's broken. So she couldn't play in the finals of volleyball, blah, blah, blah. He took the scans, ran it through AI, and they were like, it's not broken. And he's like, huh. And then he's like, made another appointment and the doctor's like, it's not broken. In that example, AI should only be a piece of information. It is not the information. It's nowhere near being the information. So that's where we are. Do we get to the point where it is? Maybe, but I think there's a lot of hesitancy and a lot of concern. Just so you know, on a different front where Microsoft thinks this is going from a visual point, is that Copilot's going to be your whole UI. There's not going to be windows. There's not going to be apps.
Wow.
It's literally just going to be Copilot.
And is there a time frame?
I don't know. I don't get that. That's above my pay grade. All right, so I do want to get you in the system. So I just have one more section to get through, and then we're going to do some co-piloting, if you will. It's all about prompting. Who knows what a prompt is? Yes, please.
Well, there's an art of the prompt for sure, depending on if it's some of the work we do in this room, if it's medical, if you said, if it's financial. So you have to be very distinct in your prompt and be ready to re-prompt based on the information you get. So for example, recently I had to do a voiceover script for a client. I did load up the visuals and the tone and the desired outcome, the length of the voiceover, and a skeleton of what I thought the script should be. So I gave it a lot. and it ripped me a beautiful script. First time out, which is unusual, that I changed around and I used. And this was a last minute call on a Friday to do a voiceover script, which isn't typically something I would do in a 4-hour window. I wrote the script, I voiceovered, and I delivered the product.
Excellent.
And that was like with 4 prompts.
Yeah, it's amazing. So prompt is like the set of instructions you give AI so that it can give you what you want. And what I love about what you said is usually you don't prompt once. You have to refine it. Also, on the other side of things with Copilot, you can't prompt more than 30 times because we find 30 plus, it starts to hallucinate. So you only get 30 tries at it, and then you got to start over, which is okay. All right, so I'm going to give you some rules about prompting. Anybody want to guess some of the rules, you guys that use it? I'm using rules.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Be specific.
Be specific. Awesome.
Give details.
Give details. Excellent. Yes.
If you're an amazing marketer or you're an expert in this.
It's so true. There's also one about being polite to Copilot. Mm-hmm.
Open AI appear or something.
Yeah. I mean, it sort of mimics how you are. So if you're rude, guess what you're getting back?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, we'll run through these and then we'll get to. Okay, this is just a general, what do I want? Why do I need it? Where am I going? Where should AI look? And how do I need it? So goal, context, source, and expectations. Okay, keep it simple and conversational. You can use everyday language. You can misspell things and Copilot will forgive you for that. You can actually make Copilot do things it doesn't want to do. So I have seen where Copilot comes back and says, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And you do sometimes you have to try really hard, you fail first, and it will actually go and do it. Kind of funny. Be specific and actionable. Know what to avoid when creating a prompt. So sometimes you can make things really confusing and conflicting. You're not writing a whole saga here. You're just trying to get instructions to it on what you want, how you want it, etc. Understand Copilot's limitations. What their limitations? You can get random responses. Trying to do research that get documents as source documents that are completely fictional. So, yeah.
Does it state that it's fictional?
No.
So it gives you a white paper that's wrong.
Yes.
Wow, that's a problem.
That's why it's Copilot. It is not autopilot. Be polite. Be curious. So this is really in here. You should try anything and everything. Why not? This is a skill and it takes a lot of practice to get to. And test and refine. Okay, that didn't quite get me what I wanted. Let me try with this time frame, whatever. Add more details, add more specifications, etc. Okay. So I put in a prompt just to give you the idea. Generate 3 to 5 bullet points. That's the goal. To prepare me for a meeting with client X to discuss their phase 3+ brand campaign. That's the context. Focus on email and Teams chat since June. That's the source that they're going to look at. And please use simple language so I can get up to speed quickly. That's the expectations. I have used the simple language thing a lot. I work in a technology company and half the time I don't know what people are talking about. And I'll be like, explain to me what blah, blah, blah is, like I'm a 10th grader. And it's so helpful. It does. Or once I did 3rd grader and we got into Legos and I was like, this is fun. Yes, please.
Know where to find the emails and the chat.
Yeah, so this is when you have something that is integrated, like Zoom has a Copilot. If you're using a Zoom Copilot. With Microsoft Copilot, sorry, I don't know what Zoom calls their Copilot, whatever it's called. With Microsoft Copilot,
or something that's a Microsoft product?
What it is all your M365 apps, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Teams, it's all together with a Copilot. So it can access all of those.
And it won't matter if you're not in Office 365, or does it have to be within 365? Or can it be downloaded on your system? It wouldn't matter.
You don't have to be in 365, but you do have to be in the work setting.
You have to be logged in of sorts to a Microsoft.
To your
product.
Microsoft product. Exactly.
I think you have to probably be anywhere you use them.
Pretty much. Does this,
Then you open up Copilot within that. You'll show us.
I'll show you,
Okay.
definitely. Does this make sense to people? You kind of think you understand?
So the difference between this and say ChatGPT is you're pointing to the source when you're using Microsoft Code.
So the difference between us is very little, in that we own 49% of them. So we actually use ChatGPT on the back end, but our front end is wrapped in our security, and it is connected to our apps. Whereas if you use ChatGPT, it's not connected to Word.
So ChatGPT isn't going into my Microsoft products, and there's no way. It's using other sources.
There are ways around that. You can copy a Word document and put it into ChatGPT
Right.
and blah, blah, blah. That's a little bit tedious.
But ChatGPT is one of your drivers, it sounds like. It's one of your
ChatGPT is our back end.
back end. Okay, interesting. And Copilot adds a security factor that you're talking about. Interesting.
Yeah.
So it puts a data wall up that doesn't integrate with that chat.
And we also guarantee we do not use your data for any training. Not at all.
So you're using the ChatGPT engine, which is interesting.
Yeah. Okay, it's your turn. So I want everybody to get their computers out. And I want you to type in copilot.microsoft.com.
I've downloaded the app.
Great, just go to the app.
Oh, we can go to the app. That's even better.
How do these different voices sound? Ruby, Canyon, Wave, Meadow?
I have to tell you, there's a copilot.microsoft.com.
And you sign in through our Microsoft account?
Yes, you can. And the screen I'm showing, you see work versus personal. Work is where I sign in and I can use my work documents. If I do personal, it's only going to use the web. Will not use my work documents. Yeah,
Is that okay?
that's fine. It's because I have licenses that I see this. Deborah has a screen that just says, how can I help? That's still Copilot.
Okay, that's what it's asking.
That's what I see.
Okay,
Yeah.
We're in the right place.
yeah, good. I need a map.
So if you've already logged in as work,
Yes. You can cross over.
Was Copilot.microsoft.com?
Mhm.
See my one open.
Okay, so a couple of features here. I have this, you guys don't have this because you're not logged in as to a company or whatever. This green symbol means that I am protected. I am logged in and my data is protected. So that's important to know. It gives me some sample prompts here that I could use if I'm interested. I can add content. So what I can do is read this 1099 and tell me what X is. Or that's a terrible voice. Make it sound like no.
Oh, yeah. No, it's listening.
We have a prompt gallery, so you can click and view more prompts.
I didn't see any books at all like that online.
You don't because I have extra licenses. I have all the licenses you need for everything.
Right, same.
So do we get extra licenses with Microsoft 365 or anything?
No, you have to buy them.
So if you have 365, you could log in. Is that, and then.
If you
it's
need
totally
an
separate.
extra license.
Oh, okay.
It's a bummer.
And that all
I
costs
see.
extra.
It does. So here's what I'm gonna do. I have put up here eight different prompts that are business-like. Do I need to make it bigger? And I want each of you to take one. I want you to fill in the blanks. I highlighted in yellow where you have to fill in the blanks for your industry, interests, desired result, etc. And I want you to see what you get. I know, and I'm going to make y'all retype it. It's such a pain, but do I need to make it bigger?
Yeah, no.
Sorry. Yep.
And then the highlighted piece, we'll just add the industry. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
You add whatever industry you want to add or an interest area or.
Okay. So my favorite comes up first.
If it's too much typing, you can skinny it down if you want. See what you get.
Interested how these come up in the order they come up. Is there somebody paying Microsoft? Like, is Nike paying Microsoft to be first?
No.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You begin to wonder.
And you hit think deeper or you hit just the animal? Or my advanced?
You just hit enter or the arrow when you've typed in.
Because it says think deeper and there's also an arrow about that. And I changed it slightly. I could hit return, but I wanted to know which one is prompted.
Oh, I've never seen think deeper. I would do the other one.
Okay. I changed it a little bit differently.
Awesome.
Can Copilot crawl a website? For example, if you have a website, it can go behind the website and read whatever is there, you know, for SEO, for take the keywords out of a page.
They can, if you're allowed to. If they put a firewall, then you may not be able to, but otherwise, yes.
So you can put the.
You can do
the
SEO.
URL and you can crawl the website.
Totally.
So it doesn't give you visual examples.
So did you try the visual one?
No,
There's a visual one. I have friends that do visual all the time, and I'm curious if they're using Copilot or something else.
I just asked for effective examples of graphic design. It gave, different areas.
But it didn't give a
Showed
visual.
me some visual examples and it said it could describe them but not show them.
Yeah, I wonder if that's because it wants to protect the IP of what it might show you. I don't know.
Now, what if you want to say when it kicks out the question that you ask it, but you're like, you know what, I should have put this in there because it would dial it down even
Reprompt
more.
it.
How do you go back in and edit?
So see the empty box at the bottom?
Yes,
Okay, this time, please add in blah, blah, blah.
okay.
Is everybody else getting it? Is everybody having fun?
Yeah. It's fun. Totally fun.
Awesome. Who wants to volunteer what they did and what came out and what they thought of it? And I cold call. No, I'm just kidding.
Just because we're right after the Super Bowl. I love the ads. I've been in the industry for a very long time and I dig it. And this one I put in, what are the greatest headlines for sports advertising? And I just said to her, just do it came up first. Well, are they paying somebody? Because that was the campaign that just came out that hadn't been, Nike hadn't done a campaign since what, 1983 or something like that?
Using Just Do It.
No, that one, but I meant in a new campaign,
Okay.
which was my favorite. So I think it's interesting that the order in which it comes up, A, and B,
What are the other ones that Sharon?
let's see, be like Mike Gatorade, thank you, Mom, P&G, The Cage, Nike's got a lot of ink here, a lot of airtime, and Jose 10, Adidas. I don't know if I know that one, but It's fascinating.
I wonder if it's doing international or just domestic.
Oh, that's interesting. I could reprompt.
Yes, you can.
All right, well, let's just do international then. So anyway, I think it's fun.
That is fun.
I think I could have too much fun. That's the problem.
But actually, that's really useful. Like just exploring
Yeah.
is how you get better at it.
Of course.
It really is.
Mhm.
Who else wants to go?
I can go.
Yeah.
So I asked it to provide 5 blog topics to educate my interior design audience on benefits of working with a professional interior designer. So I have, and he gave me, it says, absolutely, here are 5 blog topics. Transform your space, the expertise of a professional interior designer, maximizing your budget, personalized design, and power of professional networks, stress-free renovations. I mean, these are good topics, but I would say also probably a little bit too generalized.
So go ahead and
But
vote
then
again.
I would say, can you be more specific or kind of like dig
Absolutely.
deeper in this topic?
Absolutely.
And you can actually tell them to change the tone. It's more.
Yeah, you can
More
say
direct or more
Yeah.
healthy.
sound more professional. You can say tone. I actually use tone a lot because every now and then my customers really tick me off. And I hit reply and I'm like, okay, I shouldn't do that. So I'm like, Copilot, please respond to this email. And it writes this balanced, lovely response.
Mhm.
It's awesome. Whereas
Yeah.
I probably would have had to take at least 30 minutes to cool down before I wrote the response. So
You can do the same with chat. It's good for writing apologies.
you can also say, yep, you can also do funky things like,
Wow.
thanks for the answer. Can you write it in a rhyming poem now?
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
And it will put it in a
Oh,
poem.
that's crazy.
One of my professors wrote a book called Co-Intelligence, and he fed it into ChatGPT and asked it to produce a podcast series. And it did.
Whoa.
There's so much you can do. Now, do you just produce the series and let it go? Absolutely not.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you, so what's the
Copilot's not
copyright,
autopilot.
due diligence on that one?
Yeah, right?
That worked well, though. I prompted it like 2 more times to get what I wanted, like my initial, and then spit out, and I'm like,
Can you tell us what it was? Would you?
yes, so I want to market to female attorneys to help them with their health and wellness.
Great.
I have a fair amount of female attorney clients that, need help with it, and it seems to be a trend. So what I want to do is target female attorneys, like where do I find them? How do I target them? What's the call to action? And it gave me, I had prompted a couple times, but to be a little more specific, and then it kicked out things I could do. And then I asked it, okay, well, where do I find these people? And it said, join this community, go on LinkedIn, join
That's
these
cool.
communities. It gave me a whole bunch of stuff that I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, wow, I love it.
Fantastic. Okay, so remember at the beginning of this whole thing, I asked you to write down about a task that you hate or don't want to do or whatever. I want you to use Copilot to come up with how you can mitigate that. Can it do it for you? Does it have ideas of how to get rid of it? So whatever it is, and I put back up the goal, the context, the source, and the expectations, so you can remember sort of the elements of a good prompt.
Can I put in, like I use a voice, Ann Handley, can I say to Copilot, write this in Ann Handley style?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I got you.
Wow. So I asked it to go, I said, wonderful, thank you for this. Could you please be more specific on one of the topics and dig a little deeper? And he said, yes, sure. And he came up with a whole list of like how you can do more,
And
what other subtopics.
it's helpful?
And it's definitely helpful, yeah.
That's great. And if you don't know, make stuff up.
How do you get this to send you an email of everything that you might have searched if you wanted to?
So there you need to be connected to an email. So you need a Copilot license for Microsoft in order to do that.
Otherwise, how do you copy it into a document? You just highlight. You just do the highlighting or do that way, the highlighting.
That's interesting. I have a little copy button at the bottom. I guess it doesn't do that.
Well, maybe it would do it if I took it off the,
Okay,
I don't know.
then you could put it into a document.
Otherwise, it doesn't save it.
So the next step for all of this, as you're working, is that, we'll say, let's say, I want to know what the best gift for a camper is. Somebody who goes camping regularly, and Copilot will come up with gifts. And then the next step that we're foreseeing is then you can go purchase it. You can do a comparison and then you can go purchase it. Not there yet, but certainly lots of folks are working on it.
Do you think that would be sponsored by the company that where you can purchase it?
Probably.
Yeah,
They got to monetize it somehow,
right.
I think. Okay, I'd love to hear from some people what their task was and how did it work? What'd you do? Yes, please.
I asked them to streamline research for a small business client on ways to generate leads. So I got a whole bunch of online strategies, offline strategies, tools and resources to use, kind of like a half a page probably.
Great.
And then I put make this specific to clients in the health and wellness industries. It didn't really change a whole lot. I'm trying to compare the two. But
Okay.
did it? I guess it added a few additional things, local health fairs, that kind of thing.
But maybe you could add more detail around that
Yeah.
group and
Yeah,
get
it
it to
didn't
be
change very much.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else? I get this.
I asked,
Yeah.
I asked it to generate 5 Instagram reels for women struggling with menopausal issues. And then I said, I also need the hashtags that relate to those pain points. So it gave me 5 reel ideas, and then it gave me a list of hashtags.
Awesome. So for those of you that are quiet, does that mean it didn't work or you're just not psyched to share?
Well, I don't understand how I wanted to do some kind of organizing of my workloads and summarizing emails, but how do I connect to that? I need a Copilot.
Yeah. So here, let's get one more and then I'll move. We have a couple minutes. Anybody else? Did it work?
This is fascinating to me. I'm working with a guy trying to fund a motion picture,
Mhm.
and he's in the industry, like he should know that, but he's asking me. So, okay, here we go. So I have talked to a number of people who are investor friends of mine, and I don't really know much about that space, okay? So I need help. And we all help each other here. And now I just found this and I'm thinking, ooh, Smart Angels Film Fund invests in professionally produced, unique and entertaining low budget and micro budget motion pictures and documentaries. Woo! That is like razor.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I needed.
Yep.
And it's in Australia. No, I'm only kidding. But, where is it? I don't know that. But I mean, the fact that I just found that just saved me an enormous amount of time,
Right.
calling, talking to people, like, oh my God. Because it's not my area. I do investing, of course, but not in that
Totally.
area.
Yes.
I'm not for this time, but in detailing what you're saying, that is, my husband has an art restoration company and we focus in on oil paintings. And we do work throughout the country and we're part of NEMA, National Museum Association. And we have an outdated list from 2 years ago around COVID. So my daughter, who's interning with us, I had her go to chat, now look at Copilot, and plug that list in. And some of the people were still there, but some had moved on. Interesting is they would not give out data. You had to change the prompt to, I need a business contact, a business website, and a business email and phone.
Mhm.
And that's how we were able to update the data. And we did that also when we needed a particular resource for restoration, similar to what you're asking for. came up with the website. So I would say to shorten your prompts, because you only have 30 of them, ask for a business contact. It will not give personal data on chat.
Yep. Yep, like super finite requests, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
That'll save you a ton of time.
And then how do we save this? And say you know.
You can copy it into a
Okay.
document, into an email.
I took a picture.
But the other thing is that when you have a license, it saves your prompts. So you can go back. So I have a prompt every Monday morning that basically says, tell me everything I didn't accomplish last week. I want it in order of priority. I want to know who it's for, and I want you to start the response for me.
So I use Microsoft through a lot of my clients have sign-offs for different clients I work with. Is this naturally incorporated in the product? You have to buy it?
We're a for-profit company.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, so I'm in
Rhetorical question.
I'm in Teams right now, and we've been recording our meeting. So I'm going to say, Copilot, I haven't been paying attention. Oops. Paying attention. Can you please summarize what I've missed?
Oh, wow. Whoa. Oh, that's amazing.
Is it summarizing the conversation today?
It is summarizing in terms of basically the presentation, the interactive session. And it's summarized very brief, so I can have it go deeper in certain sections. I can't show you this right now, but the other thing that Microsoft does with Teams is it does sentiment analysis. So I had a colleague say to me, 20 minutes into the meeting, you got really mad. What happened? Oh my God, you guys are going to think I get mad all the time.
Oh my God, analysis, okay.
So it shows you what the sentiment is over the meeting. So you can go to the trouble spots, you can go to
That's
the,
amazing.
Is that based on your tone, beyond your language? So it's capturing your
it's
emotion.
probably both, yeah, which is pretty cool.
Is this only possible if you're recording, or can you do this even if it's just a live call? Like if you were just on a live meeting, could you have them summarize in real time, or does it have to be recording?
It has to be transcribed.
Transcribe.
And so what we've done, because some people don't want the transcription saved, it could be illegal.
Be dangerous.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what we've done is we've added a way where you can transcribe it. It'll summarize it immediately after, and then the transcription's gone. Yeah.
How much is that license, by the way, you're talking about?
So, personal license, I think, is $20 per person per month.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
I feel like we need it, we need it at Haven.
It,
Right.
so
So could you buy, like, a good point, could you buy one license and have 10 users,
Mm-hmm.
for instance?
no,
Oh,
it's one license per person.
okay. There's no work model.
For-profit.
Okay.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So create a presentation.
I don't want to put creative graphic designers out of business, however.
It's a tool. It allows you to work faster.
Yeah.
It's just like the computer. Can you do Control or Command Plus so that we could, I can't see the type.
I'm so sorry. Okay, basically I wrote in, create a presentation about AI for a group of entrepreneurs who are women and want to learn how to best prompt.
Does
This
it
is,
matter that we're women?
no. Well, it might, I don't know.
I'm just curious.
So what it does is it comes out with an outline for your presentation. I can move this around and be like, no, I really wanted this one. I wanted to put something in. Sorry, stop. I could put something in. I wanted to move this one up. I don't know why I can't. Is it not saving?
I use chat.
I know you did for DB.
Yeah.
I know. I saw that. Good for you. I mean, why not?
And then I changed it up a bit.
Right.
But it
I
would
think a
take
personal
me a second.
It's
Like,
like,
if not, I would have sat there and been
I
like, all right,
know.
what should I type?
no, because it's.
Where
Yeah,
is
you
my,
think- you think-
Awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm loving that. All you're using it all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
My kids laugh.
it doesn't like that, it's not.
You just
I
get
know.
broke down with it. And I'm like,
Right, I know.
Always good with this thing.
I know. It's in their DNA or something. I don't know. It's crazy.
Okay, it really doesn't like what I put in, so I'm gonna get rid of it, and I'm gonna say, great, that looks great. I'm gonna generate some slides.
We will make the slides for
Oh, this is too much.
Not only will it make the slides, it will also put speaking notes
Oh
underneath.
my gosh, so cool.
Oh my God.
And this is just on the free version.
This is
Copilot?
just on the, no, this is on the paid version because it's with PowerPoint.
Ah,
I didn't, but I could have said, and I want images that look like entrepreneurs or whatever.
yeah, right.
I can also do makeup. I mean, this is,
starting.
Oh my God.
I can also say, make it 30 minutes long, so it'll only do so many slides, etc.
It really is.
Does it
Yeah.
tell you, like,
You need a lot. Pay more for iTunes.
This is the speaking notes at the bottom, sorry. Just a couple. Control I, you say?
so we don't know where it generated it from?
Very funny because of the Microsoft image maker.
Because with Adobe Images, you can find out where
Where it came from? I mean, maybe you could put that in your prompt. And I want images that I can find on blah, 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 or,
And you, in other words, want to use free images versus going to, let's say, Getty or something along those lines.
yeah.
You can say that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What was the prompt that you put in?
The prompt was, I want to create an AI presentation for entrepreneurs who are women and want to know the best way to prompt.
Okay.
Are you gonna send us these?
The presentation?
Whatever, this,
Sure.
yeah, that would be great.
So we are over. The only thing I'll say is that I'm happy to give my email if you have additional questions.
Okay.
I'll just put it up here if I can.
And so what would be the limitations on this free version that we're using right now?
So it doesn't do things like what I did with the meeting.
Would give you a transcript. Okay.
The PowerPoint, it wouldn't create that. It wouldn't create, I write references in Word and I have that start for me. I need to write a reference for so, blah, blah, blah. Actually, a few months ago, I said to my boss, I am so busy, I don't have time for my review. So AI is going to write my review. And he laughed and he goes, AI is going to review your review.
Wow.
Maybe we shouldn't bother.
Right.
Yeah. Any outstanding questions? So it's just KristinGreene02@gmail. If you have any questions, I'll make sure that you guys get the presentation.
Thank you.
Happy to review things with you.
What would you suggest we go from here? Just get a license and start using it?
I would practice the art of prompting on the free one
Yeah.
and just get comfortable with it. And then this really wasn't meant to be a sales pitch, honestly. My territory is New York, so it's not even, but anyway. Yeah, you can purchase a license, test out other ones too. They're just as great tools from other companies, honestly, so test them out.
Copilot is like, uses your Microsoft other tools.
Right.
Versus.
And it's more secure.
Yeah, so now in Excel, you can talk to it and have it create a pivot table for you. You can have it create graphs for you, that type of thing. Just making it easier. It's just saving you time, which is,
Can you add a template at the beginning and say, put it in this template?
yes. I'm saying yes, because I know with teaching, you can put in the rubric and say, evaluate this against the rubric. So I imagine the same for Excel. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I just think of like the 20 somethings and all, it seems like the things that were kind of entry level jobs are now being done by AI. And, you know, where does that leave the younger generation?
So here's the thing. I told you about that. Don't need that. I'm not going to do gift guru, but you can build a gift guru. The thing about AI is it's a true equalizer in ways that I hadn't expected. I have a colleague that is quadriplegic, and she can create documents just as fast as I can now.
That's beautiful.
It really is. So this is creating sort of more of a level playing field for people. And if you think about it, the importance of the knowledge you already have is diminished because you can get it. I mean, that was true with Google too, but I think it's even more so here. People are writing research with this. People are coming up with new drugs with this. So I think it's more of an equalizing platform.
Very helpful. Thank you.
Yes.
So glad.